Hello, dear friends, all lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Long live Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of Biafra land. Long live United States of Biafra. Long live the good people of Biafra. My people, in this video, you will learn a lot. So do not be in a hurry. Tighten your seatbelts and watch this video. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share this video and also give us a thumbs up. Thank you and God bless you. Let's go.
The drama unfolding at the Sokoto Correctional Facility is stirring up more controversy by the day, and it's all centered around the high-profile case of Nnamdi Kanu and former Governor Rochas Okorocha. According to reports, Kanu, who is currently being held at Sokoto prison, refused to meet with Rochas Okorocha during his recent visit. This incident is not just about a refusal to meet, it's sending strong political and social messages, and it's raising eyebrows across the nation. Now, let's break this down for everyone to understand what's really going on. Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has been at the center of a heated and ongoing political battle. His group, IPOB, has called for the independence of Biafra, a move that has sparked conflict between Kanu and various political figures, both in the southeast and beyond. But here's the interesting part. Kanu was allegedly asked to meet Rochas Okorocha, the former governor of Imo State, who is a prominent figure in Nigerian politics. Okorocha had visited Kanu in prison, hoping to offer some form of support or intervention, perhaps trying to mediate in his case. But Kanu wasn't having any of it. Prison sources have revealed that Kanu declined to come out to see Okorocha and instead ordered prison officials to escort him away. In fact, he is said to have accused Okorocha of contributing to the suffering of the Igbo people. Kanu reportedly said he would not receive anyone linked to the hardship and bloodshed faced by his people. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Okorocha, a former governor and an influential political figure, is seen by some as a representative of the political establishment that Kanu is so fiercely against. To Kanu, Okorocha represents the status quo, the same system that, in his view, oppresses the Igbos. This action by Kanu is a direct statement about his position, not just against Okorocha, but also against the entire political class. It's clear that Kanu sees Okorocha's past leadership as one that didn't prioritize the welfare of the Igbos. In fact, this incident has raised a lot of questions. Is Kanu's decision to reject Okorocha an indication that he's not willing to engage with any politician who he feels has betrayed the Igbo cause? And what does this mean for other political figures in Nigeria, especially those who have supported or been linked to the establishment? The reactions to this incident have been wide-ranging. Many of Kanu's supporters, especially those within the IPOB movement, have cheered his stance. They see him as standing firm on his principles, refusing to be associated with anyone he believes has contributed to the oppression of the Igbo people. They argue that the leadership in Nigeria has done little to address the issues facing the southeast, and Kanu's decision to shut out Okorocha is a reflection of the deep frustration that many feel about the lack of progress and attention given to the region. On the other hand, there are those who see Kanu's actions as a bit extreme. Some believe that rejecting a fellow Igbo man, especially someone as influential as Okorocha, might not be the best way to foster unity in the region. They argue that while Kanu has a point about the suffering of the Igbo people, his refusal to engage with Okorocha could lead to further division, rather than offering a chance for dialogue or collaboration. Okorocha, for his part, has been one of the more vocal Igbo politicians in the national political arena, often positioning himself as a unifier. His past efforts to work within the Nigerian political system have earned him both supporters and detractors. But one thing is clear. Kanu's rejection of Okorocha shows how deep the political divisions are within the Igbo community. But let's not forget the legal side of this whole story. Nnamdi Kanu's imprisonment has been one of the most controversial cases in Nigerian politics. Kanu was arrested and detained on charges related to terrorism and treason, with many arguing that the case was politically motivated. His supporters believe that Kanu is being unfairly targeted for his activism, while critics argue that he's a threat to national security. What's important to understand is that Kanu's legal situation is far from over. He is currently in Sokoto prison, and his legal team has been fighting for him to be transferred to a facility closer to Abuja, where he can better prepare for his appeal. But here's where it gets complicated. Sokoto is over 700 kilometers away from Abuja, and many believe this is hindering Kanu's ability to properly access his legal team and resources. This situation has added fuel to the fire, with many calling the long-distance transfer a tactic to make it more difficult for Kanu to fight his case effectively. His supporters argue that this move is a deliberate attempt to keep him isolated, away from the people who could help him win his case. It's a matter of convenience, access, and ultimately justice. Kanu's lawyers had filed a request to move him closer to Abuja, but the court denied this request earlier this year. According to reports, the court ruled that the government needed to be consulted, and the case has been adjourned until January 2026. So for now, Kanu remains in Sokoto, far from the political and legal center of Nigeria, making it even harder for him to advocate for his release. The broader implications of Kanu's detention are massive, and they go beyond just his personal case. The ongoing tension between the Nigerian government and IPOB highlights a much larger issue: ethnic and regional divisions. For many in the southeast, Kanu has become a symbol of the struggle for greater autonomy and recognition. They feel that the Nigerian government has long ignored their needs, while their grievances continue to be sidelined in national discourse. In this sense, Kanu's situation is a flashpoint. For these long-standing issues, the treatment of Kanu and the response to his activism have ignited debates about the future of the Igbo people within the Nigerian state. But here's something important to note. Rochas Okorocha's visit to Kanu at the prison is a story in itself. Why did Okorocha choose to visit Kanu, knowing the deeper political rift between them? Was he genuinely trying to broker peace, or was this just a political move to improve his image among certain constituencies? Okorocha has always positioned himself as a leader who is willing to work with both the Nigerian government and opposition groups to secure the future of the Southeast. His visit to Kanu could be seen as an attempt to show that he is willing to engage with all sides, even those who oppose him. For Kanu, however, the decision to shut Okorocha out speaks volumes. It shows just how strongly he feels about the political betrayal he perceives from certain leaders. Kanu's actions are a call for those in positions of power to take responsibility for the plight of the Igbo people. It's a reminder that the struggle for justice and equality is not just about legal battles. It's about the deep-seated issues of governance, leadership, and the role of politicians in shaping the future of Nigeria's diverse communities. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. Kanu's rejection of Okorocha is just one incident in a much larger conversation about the future of Nigeria. The tension between the federal government and regional groups like IPOB is not just about Kanu, it's about the wider sense of frustration that many people in the Southeast and other regions feel about their place in the country. Nigeria is a nation of diverse ethnic groups, and each group has its own unique challenges. The question that we need to ask ourselves is, how do we ensure that all voices are heard and represented in our national discourse? As we've discussed, the incident at Sokoto prison isn't just about Kanu refusing to meet with Okorocha. It's emblematic of the larger political and ethnic divides within Nigeria. The Southeast, in particular, has been at the heart of many of these issues. And Kanu, for many, represents a voice for those who feel sidelined by the Nigerian government. The tension surrounding his detention, his leadership of IPOB, and the growing frustration among his supporters isn't just about one individual's struggle for justice. It's about the struggles of an entire region that feels unheard and oppressed. The rejection of Okorocha, a prominent political figure from the Southeast, is symbolic. It's a way for Kanu to send a clear message. I will not engage with those who, in my view, have failed to fight for the true liberation of the Igbos. Okorocha, despite his years in power and his self-proclaimed role as a representative of Igbo interests at the national level, isn't seen by everyone as the right champion for the cause. Kanu's refusal is an expression of the anger and disillusionment that many in the Southeast feel about their leaders who they believe have compromised too much and failed to bring about real change for the region. But this is where things get tricky. Okorocha is not just any politician. He has a legacy in the Southeast, having served as governor of Imo State for 2 terms and as a member of the Nigerian Senate. His political career has been marked by both support and controversy. While he has positioned himself as an advocate for the Igbo people, particularly in his role as governor, his political approach hasn't always sat well with everyone. Some see him as a leader who's more concerned with his own political survival than the well-being of the people he represents. For Kanu, Okorocha's visit might have felt like an attempt to bridge the gap between the government and IPOB. But Kanu has made it clear that for him, this isn't about compromise. It's about accountability. And when it comes to accountability, Kanu doesn't want anything to do with politicians who he believes have sold out the interests of the Igbo people for their own gain. The fact that Kanu rejected Okorocha's visit so publicly speaks volumes about how divided opinions are within the Igbo community on who represents their interests. Now, let's talk about the legal fight in all of this. Kanu's case is far from over. While the political drama continues to unfold, Kanu's legal team is focused on the task at hand, appealing his conviction and securing his release. This legal battle has been full of twists and turns, and it's not clear where it will go next. Kanu's supporters are hopeful that the court will ultimately rule in his favor, but the court system in Nigeria has been a battleground for many controversial cases, and there's a lot of uncertainty around how this one will play out. As we know, Kanu's appeal is scheduled for January 2026, which means we'll be following this case closely for the next several months. It's important to note that Kanu is currently fighting for a transfer to a facility closer to Abuja, where his legal team believes he can better prepare for his case. The Sokoto prison, as we've mentioned earlier, is over 700 kilometers from Abuja, and many believe that this distance is strategically placed to make it harder for Kanu to access his legal team and continue his fight. This isn't just about convenience, it's about making sure that everyone has a fair chance to defend themselves in court. The issue of where Kanu is being held also raises questions about fair treatment in the Nigerian prison system. In the past, we've seen high-profile cases where the conditions of detention have been criticized, and Kanu's case is no exception. Many believe that his transfer to Sokoto is part of a larger strategy to isolate him from his supporters and make it harder for him to fight his case effectively. The government argues that the transfer was for security reasons, but critics see it as another form of political manipulation. As we move toward the legal proceedings in January 2026, there are also broader questions to ask. Will Kanu's legal team be able to overcome these challenges and get him the fair trial he deserves? Will the court rule in his favor, or will his detention continue adding more fuel to the fire of the separatist cause he champions? The answers to these questions will have significant implications not just for Kanu, but for the future of IPOB, the Southeast, and the country as a whole. But let's take a moment to think about the larger picture here. What is this really about? Beyond the legal technicalities and the political maneuvering, Kanu's case highlights some fundamental issues that have been simmering in Nigeria for years. Ethnic divisions, regional inequalities, and the fight for justice. The Southeast, and specifically the Igbo people, have felt marginalized for decades. From the Biafran War in the 1960s to today, many in the region have argued that the federal government has failed to prioritize their needs. Kanu's call for Biafran independence might seem extreme to some, but for many in the Southeast, it's a reflection of deep-seated grievances that have yet to be addressed. Whether or not you agree with IPOB's tactics, the underlying issue is clear. There is a growing sense that the Igbo people and other minority groups in Nigeria have been left behind in the country's national development. And that's what makes this case so important. It's not just about Kanu and Okorocha. It's about the future of Nigeria. Can the country truly come together as one? Or will divisions continue to deepen, with groups like IPOB pushing for independence, and other political figures like Okorocha trying to hold things together within the existing structure? The stakes are high, and the resolution to Kanu's case could determine the direction Nigeria takes in the.
Well, it is an unconfirmed report. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu rejected to see Rochas Okorocha as he went to Kuje prison to visit him, that report has not been substantiated. So, as for now, it is alleged until when it is confirmed, we can be sure of. If indeed he rejected Okorocha, he have his reasons. Of course, when Okorocha was in power, he did not do well to the people of Imo State. He never governed them very well. And he messed up. He was running to the north for political favors. Remember in his days that he was nicknamed Okorocha because he did a lot of injustice to the Igbo youth. And he contributed to the bloodshed in the east. His battle with Hope Uzodinma cost us a lot. A lot of our young men got perished because of the actions of these wicked political leaders. So this is it, my people. Take care and God bless you.